Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Bashem Abishai, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. Bahashem HaKadosh, my name is your call from Plaintables Camp. Apostles doing a video on GMS take on Revelation 6 and 6.
Shalom, I'm giving all praise to Yahweh Bashem Bashem HaKadosh, Shalom to the 144,000 who are still left out there. Shalom to you all. Let me make this super quick. This is Lamb backing off a video that I just watched, the entire video, which is "19 minutes long, almost 20 minutes long." Let me bring it back to the beginning. Matter of fact, let me do this. Actually,
all right, Shalom.
It's 17 minutes.
I want to give all the praise and the glory to Yahweh.
You get a chance to watch this video, subscribe to the video. There should be a lot more views. Subscribe to the video. And to this page, rather. GMS All Precepts. Women at ease no more. The ventures shall fail. The ventures is failing. Isaiah 4:1 is closer than ever. And we can all see it. And we've been saying this. So anyway, watch this video. And it prompted me to do my own little video. What I did was I went to the Google and I put in what is the GMS Israelites take on Revelation 6 and 6. And what I did was I went to about 4 or 5 different versions of the Bible to read Revelation 6 and 6. Now the elder, Issachar, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, excuse me if I'm not. He read it in the King James. Oh, I didn't get a chance to read it in the New King James. I read it in the BBE, I read it in the NLT, I read it in the Amplified. I believe it was either the NLT or the Amplified that gave me what I wanted, that kind of opened my eyes. I believe he went to it. So let's go to that. Amplified. I'm going to also read the NLT. I think let's just read the Amplified first. Revelation 6 and 6. And I heard something like a voice in the midst of the 4 living creatures saying, a quart of wheat for a bag of wheat is cheap, a couple of dollars for a denarius. A day's wages in Rome. Like a Roman soldier got good pay, he got a day's wages. He got that penny. And 3/4 of barley for a denarius, and do not damage the oil in the wine. Let me go ahead and NLT. I think it says something different. Well, it did say something different. Okay. And I heard a voice from among the 4 living beings say, a loaf of wheat bread or 3 loaves of barley will cost a day's pay, and don't waste the oil and the wine. Now the oil and the wine, you cook with oil and wine, you drink wine. In the Middle East, it was, part of their culture that when you eat, you drink wine with it. And you use olive oil. You cook with olive oil. You put olive oil on bread. But this olive oil, or this oil and wine represent the truth, that the truth will not be done away with. Like I said, watch the video that the elder had put up. So I said, let me do this. I may read the whole thing. The great it told me what I wanted to hear right here. It said it all right here. The great Millstone, GMS Israelite, a prominent camp within the Hebrew Israelite movement. Interpret Revelation 6:6 as a literal and spiritual prophecy detailing a time of severe economic collapse, which we're going into right now, but it's going to get worse. Hyperinflation. Prices keep going up. And when prices constantly go up week after week, day after day, that's hyperinflation. We've been suffering inflation.
And the measure of wheat for a penny is a day's labor. When you look it up, go into it. Great Millstone breaks it down as a day's labor. A penny. And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4 beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. So we're going to look up a penny. Say a measure of wheat for a penny. Denarius. A Roman silver coin in the New Testament. It took the name from the equal of 10 asses. A number after 217 BC increased to 16. It was a principal silver coin of a Roman Empire from the parable of the laborers in the vineyard. It would seem that a denarius was then the ordinary pay for a day's wages. So what the apostle is saying is a measure of wheat. What did he use? It says a measure of wheat for a penny. How much is a measure of wheat? So basically, things are going to become very expensive. 6th verse, a measure of wheat. Let's see. Measure. A measure of wheat for a penny. A measure. We got Koinix. A dry measure containing 4. It gives me less than a quart or 1 liter. Okay, or as much as would support a man for a moderate appetite for a day. Okay, there it is again. G5518. Or as much as would support a man of moderate appetite for a day. So that's going into hyperinflation and or being able to earn enough money to get through a day. All right, hyperinflation. And he's reading here in the AI overview. He put what do we believe? Revelation 6 chapter, a literal and spiritual prophecy detailing a time of severe economic collapse, hyperinflation, and food scarcity for the masses under modern Babylon, the United States, and Western society. Hey, Gemini got it right.
Back when Biden was president, now we're starting to suffer hyperinflation. Because I just came back from the gas station. Them gas stations, what I do is I put premium. And the premium was above 5, it was 5, I think it was something like $5.29. Guarantee you I go in a couple of days, it'll be closer to $6. That's hyperinflation. And food scarcity. You have trouble with the trucks, because guess what? A truck uses diesel. They don't use regular gas, and diesel is always higher than regular gas. For the masses, under modern Babylon, thank you, under modern Babylon, United States and Western society. That's all I got to read. But you know what? Let me read some more. The interpretation rests on a few cure beliefs. Now, you know, when these Edomites get the knowledge from us, they see it now. They say, well, these Hebrew Israelites, everything that they've been saying is coming to pass. 14 years ago, 20 years ago, 17 years ago, 5 years ago. The third seal, the black horse, GMS, views the third horseman as a symbol of extreme economic hardship. So now the elder, the title he put in there was Isaiah 4:1, and we've been all doing videos featuring Isaiah 4:1. That's these women. Now on this particular video, let me do this. See, we do a lot of short, straight to the point videos. Okay, this sister right here, she's married to an Edomite, or it appears to be an Edomite. She does some good videos. Now, I used part of some of her video clips, and YouTube put up a strike and said, well, the person allowed you to use that, so, you know, give her credit, okay? A homestead journey, and you can watch these all day. And she does videos quite often. Everyone is preparing for what's coming America, or to America this summer. Ain't gonna be a happy 4th of July. Now, RN registered, a registered nurse is pretty much like a damn doctor. And a lot of them go from being nurses, RNs, registered nurses, to sometimes doctors. The doctors diagnose stuff, then they'll tell the nurse, give them this prescription, that prescription, do this, do that. So pretty much they're pretty much secondary doctors. And these are professional LPN. RN. Nurses assistants, which are not, I don't think they're professionals, but an RN, a registered nurse, is as high as you can go as far as the nursing profession is concerned. So what they're saying is that's no longer a profession, it's a lower level job, meaning your salary is going to get cut. It says, so I'm not going to let it play.
Yeah, they're doing a social engineering again, rearranging the professions to F people over and bring more economic hardship. So that's it. So if you never looked this word up, was it a measure of wheat for a penny, and they both have to do with a day's food, a day's pay. All right. So what the prophecy is saying is this is what's going to be earned. And I heard a voice in the midst of the 4B say a day's worth of wheat for a day's pay, or a day's food. So this is going to, so how are we going to house and drive and all that stuff at the same time? So, I mean, we need divine intervention. So a day's worth of food for a day's pay. A measure of wheat for a penny. A day's worth of food for a day's pay. And 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. All right, so you get 3 measures of barley. So these are more like herbs here, and this is more like your meat or the heavier stuff. All right, barley and wheat. All right, but they both are technically vegetables or animal products, not animal products. Plant-based. Wheat and barley are both plant-based. So, and it still says a measure, but this one says 3 measures of barley. So it represents food. All right, wheat and then barley, but we seem like we're getting a little bit more out of the barley. It says, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. So either way, if we don't have divine intervention, this is not a way to live. If If things going to be this expensive for a measure of it, and for 3 measures of barley, I mean, where's the money going to come from for all the other stuff? For the bill? Oh, actually, what you call it? The universal basic high income. Universal basic high income. I guess that's where that comes in at. So they're gonna lock us down. The social engineer our pay to be a day's food and a day's pay. A day's food of wheat, a day's food of barley, and a day's pay. It's all controlled with the price of cost and the product. I mean, the paycheck and the product is all engineered. Esau engineered it. All right. So you're broke.
So these women, they ain't making that, you know, that whole thing. I don't need a man. They do need a man now. They do need a man. And they're going to learn to humble themselves. Edomite women are already humbling themselves. There's something in their spirit that they know that this so-called black man is going to take over. That's why they're getting with them. So now let me come back over here. Somebody is worth 50 million, 100 million, a billion, a couple of billion, 250 billion. The denarius and grain price in the verse, a quart of wheat, barley, barely enough to sustain one person, costs 1 penny. A denarius, a day's wages. That can be in this society, because you got a decent job, your bring home is 200. That's a penny right there, which is a full day's wage. GMS teaches this signifies a time of forced, soul-crushing labor just to afford a teeny portion of food. Now it says in the Apocrypha, victuals shall be good, cheap in the land. And they're going to think that things are getting better. Things are not going to get better. Victuals meaning food. Points to a dystopian, bad place, future where the capitalist system, super rich, and the Antichrist government squeeze.
Yeah, they might pull that universal basic high income. They may pull that, and because of some crises, maybe this gas price is going, the oil, petroleum is going to get out of control even more than it is already, because there's the Gulf countries, which is 20%, according to what they say. It's they're producing less oil. They're shipping less oil, so prices are going up.
Every ounce of energy out of the common man, and that's exactly what's happening. Like this guy Trump is saying, short time pain for long time gain. Nobody believes that bullshit. Somebody came up with that, he threw it out there. Nobody believes that bullshit. Now there's a video or something that I came across that he's gonna give reparations to Jake. He ain't giving shit to Jake. He'll probably present it to somebody came up with that, he threw it out. Things are getting better. Things are not going to get better. Victuals meaning food. Points to a dystopian, bad place, future where the capitalist system, super rich, and the Antichrist government squeeze every ounce of energy out of the common man. And that's exactly what's happening. Like this guy Trump is saying, short time pain for long time gain. Nobody believes that bullshit. Somebody came up with that, he threw it out there. Nobody believes that bullshit. Now there's a video or something that I came across that he's gonna give reparations to Jake. He ain't giving shit to Jake. He'll probably present it to get him to keep the Republicans in office, leaving them on the brink of starvation. That's why cannibalism is coming back. Do not harm the oil and wine. GMS teaches that the oil and the wine represents the rich, the elite, and no. While the everyday working class Israelite and impoverished masses struggle to afford daily bread, the corrupt system ensures that the wealth, luxury, and resources of the oil and wine are strictly protected and remain unspoiled for the benefit of the wicked or the rich. That's why when you go to get a deep understanding, when you go to James 5, the poor people ain't making ends meet, and they see who the enemy is. Those wars are not going to get it. They start talking about the Epstein thing. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. Shalom, on to the next.